Hi everyone, my name is Brendan Houdek and I'm an instructor at New York Speech Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to New York Speech Coaching's Voice Breakdown, episode number 2, the show where we teach you how to imitate some of the most iconic voices. Today's episode, you know her, you love her, everyone's favorite Muppet, Miss Piggy. Today's episode is part 1 of our Muppet Series.
And what better way to kick off the Muppet Series than with me, Miss Piggy?
Remember, the secret to imitating any voice is simply figuring out 6 components. Figure out those 6 components, and you can imitate any voice you wish. I highly recommend that you check out our first video, What is a Voice Breakdown, where I explain that more in depth. That being said, let's break down Miss Piggy's voice. Component number 1, the vocal cords. Miss Piggy's voice is very high-pitched. In order to do that, we need to lengthen the vocal cords. That sounds something like this. Ah! Now, that doesn't quite sound like Miss Piggy. That's because we need to talk about vocal cord compression. Simply put, vocal cord compression refers to how tightly or how loosely the vocal cords are coming together. You can feel compression by holding your breath like this. You can also feel it by trying to imitate this voice. Oh my, oh my, oh my. That's the sound of the cords coming tightly together. If we take the high pitch, and add that compression, it's starting to sound a bit more like Miss Piggy. Component number 2, the larynx. The larynx can go up and it can go down. It goes up when we swallow, and it goes down when we yawn. For Miss Piggy, we're going to want a bit of a raised larynx. We want Miss Piggy to sound a lot less like and a lot more like. Component number 3, the tongue. As we said in our first video, the back of the tongue can clench or flex. Miss Piggy has a bit of that tongue clench in her voice. If we take what we had before, then add that tongue clench, it sounds a bit more like Miss Piggy. Body part number 4, the soft palate. The soft palate acts as a trap door between the nose and the mouth. When we allow the soft palate to lower and the back of the tongue to raise, sound will enter into the nasal cavity. For Miss Piggy, we're going to need a bit of that nasal resonance. Without it, she'll sound a bit more like Mickey Mouse, oh boy, as opposed to Miss Piggy, oh boy. If we take that high pitch, add that compression, raise that larynx, clench that tongue, and add the nasal resonance,
We have Miss Piggy!
There is an additional element present in Miss Piggy's voice that I didn't discuss yet. If you listen closely, you might have heard some distortion. There are many different ways to get vocal distortion. One of the ways to get Miss Piggy's distortion is to use a structure known as the epiglottis. When we clench that tongue and pull it backwards, the epiglottis gets in the way of the airflow. When it gets in the way of the airflow, it sends it into vibration, and it sounds something like this. You can practice this by clenching that back of the tongue and trying to grunt. If we add that sound with all the elements we already discussed, we get Miss Piggy's grunt. Component number 5, articulation. Miss Piggy has excellent diction, so there's nothing really to report in the articulation department.
No.
Component number 6, prosody. Miss Piggy speeds up, raises her pitch, raises her volume, and adds some of that distortion when she's angry.
Kirby, what are you doing?
And she slows down and decompresses those vocal cords when she's praising herself or when she's flirting with Kermit. Kermit, how much do you love me? Let's recap. Component number 1, the vocal cords. We want to lengthen the vocal cords to give us that high pitch and add that compression to give us that strength. Component number 2, the larynx. We want to raise the larynx to give us that brighter tone. Component number 3, the tongue. We want to clench or flex the back of the tongue to give us that Muppet sound. Component number 4, the soft palate. We want to lower the soft palate and raise the back of the tongue so that sound can enter into the nasal cavity. Component number 5, articulation. Nothing to report here.
No.
Component number 6, prosody. We want to speed up, raise our volume, raise our pitch, and add that distortion when Miss Piggy's angry. And we want to slow the pace down and decompress the vocal cords when she's praising herself or flirting with Kermit. If we combine all 6 of those components together,
We have Miss Piggy! Thank you for checking out New York Speech Coaching's Voice Breakdown episode number 2 with moi.
be sure to check out future episodes where we continue to show you how to break down some of the most iconic voices.
Tune in next time, or else!